Ladies and gentlemen, this is Frank Donga. You are already listening to Boom Radio. Just leave the dial there. Settle down. Listen to it. Open your ear. Don't touch it now. Boom Radio. Live and direct. Frank Donga in the building.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is Bomba right here on your Boom Radio NG. My name is Adeleke, and I bid you a very, very warm welcome to the bar today. It is Friday. Yep, it is Friday. And today is not going to be an exception at the bar. It promises to be very interesting. We're going to be talking about a lot of things. The governors have a new sharing VAT formula that they're claiming that it would bring about equity. Is it that everybody agrees to it, or does it make sense? That we will definitely talk about. The federal government is launching a CNG campaign. We will talk about that also. It's one of the very interesting things that we talk about a lot. Also, INEC and deleting data of dead people. I think that is also a very interesting part of things that we're going to be talking about today. The Labour Party is in the news. Just a few minutes ago, the news dropped as well. There are quite a number of things. The issue with First Bank, and there's a lot of fraud allegations here and there. We're going to be talking about that and quite a number of other things. So sit back, relax, and if time permits us, we will be able to dive through a bit of sports and a bit of football action that is happening over the weekend. The whole shebang, home and away, home and abroad, international and local sports, we will be able to get through before the end of the show. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's show. My name is Otudeko, the one and only. And with me in the studio is Shola Rogers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the Boom Bar.
Okay, so we're going right into it like as usual, we're going straight into it. And today we're starting with the Nigerian Governors Forum. We know that this tax reforms is something that has really been on a lot of people's minds. It's definitely on the front burner. The conversation has been going on for weeks. Remember, it's the governors that had talked about how it should be withdrawn. The northern people too have also complained and talked about how the bill should be withdrawn. However, Mr. Tinubu, it seems to be very dogged on that matter and is not backing down on that matter. However, the Nigerian Governors Forum has not come out because they are now saying officially they've now proposed a revised VAT sharing formula, because I know that was like one of the major issues that they had, actually saying that it favors some people, it does not favor some people. Now there's a new sharing formula that they have proposed. Now the question is, will it fly? Will it fly with the committee? Will it fly with... I think it's out of the hands of the committee now. It's in the hands of the National Assembly. Will it fly with the National Assembly? And this was announced by the chairman of the NGF, the Nigerian Governors Forum, Kwara State Governor Abdul Razak. So according to them, the sharing formula, I think... there's a 50% based on equality. There is a 20% based on... I would look for the exact, the proper sharing formula, and I'll get back to you on that. But basically, there's a new sharing formula. What do you think? Okay, yeah, so I found it. There's a 50% based on equality, 30% based on derivation, and 20% based on population. So what do you think about it?
It's a lot of things that's running through my mind. Looking at how a lot of people have been excited at the news that now they're
shifting ground.
Yeah, not necessarily shifting ground. They're more or less calling the shots, that the governors have rearranged the whole process to what they say would favor everybody. Mm-hmm. Of course, that's a fallacy. Nothing will ever favor everybody. There will always be winners and losers.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, it's your own position that you are protecting. However, I was watching some of the proponents of these restructured tax bills yesterday, celebrating the decision of the Governors Forum. And I said to myself, I don't know, maybe it's just a conspiracy theory, but I'm going to say it anyway. You know how they say that you should shoot for the stars. If you land on the moon,
it's a win.
What if the president and his team wanted this arrangement? That's why I said don't withdraw the bill. Let's discuss. Let us talk and let us meet somewhere.
So this was the original plan, but not so that people will feel important. Yeah, like
so,
they've done something.
Should be. You should get it. You guys, let us know what you want. What if it was going to always be something close to what they have given? In fact, what if it was willing to give them more? Do you understand? So at the end of the day, they feel like stakeholders now. They feel like they are the one calling the shots. But what if this was the plan from the get?
But okay, if we look at the numbers the way it is, and let's assume because now it's still based on the National Assembly. I think that people need to also hold on that it's actually just a proposal. It has still not been taken in by the National Assembly. It's still based on what the National Assembly wants.
And so
or
again,
National Assembly agrees to. So it's not like, because I've seen a lot of headlines, a lot of people have been going governors, what's it called? The governors, decides what. No. Let's put it in perspective. It's a proposal to the National Assembly. This is what they hope it is. But what I'm saying is that according to these figures, they said that is ensuring equitable distribution of resources. 50% based on equality as in all the 36 states get 50% of all the pool. 30% based on derivation, meaning that it is what you get in your state. 30% of that goes back to you.
Yeah.
And 20% based on population. Now, if we go by this, does it actually favor everybody?
Like I said again, what at the end of the day, it depends on how you're looking at it. If you look at it from where we're coming from and how Nigeria is more or less being restructured, and it's being done within the confines of the law. Like the president is basically just restructuring without saying he's doing that. In the sense that the local government's allocations are going to happen this month.
Yeah.
So the governors are looking at, with this new tax bill, we're also losing some form of income.
Oh, yeah.
But if they looked at the bigger picture, they were going to be getting more than they used to get. Because the other states that wanted the law to protect them, to ensure that they got what they wanted, are still backing down now. Do you get? So at the end of the day, the governors will be all the states will be getting more. And it will also encourage everybody. Now, it will encourage every single person. When I say person, I mean governor. To look for how they ramp up tax. All the things that makes people pay their taxes. Do you get? Because they know that a chunk of that is coming to them, guaranteed, beyond the regular windfall from the sale of oil. We're talking about tax, earnings now for all states. It will also make them more creative and allow them to invite more enterprises. Like now you can actually go out of Nigeria to invite businesses to say, come and set up your headquarters in Kaduna, come and set up in Anambra, set up in Osun, set up in Port Harcourt.
The taxes from that,
at least a large chunk of that comes
to
you and all of that. As against, again, when it was just Lagos, Port Harcourt, and Abuja getting all of the lump sums because everybody wanted to be in the city
but the
center.
thing is that was the problem. They were getting paid a lot of this, but all that money wasn't going to them because they were still going to a pool, and everybody was still making money off what just a few people made. Yeah,
but you remember that in the case of VAT now, VAT, the HQs were the ones paying the taxes.
The lump sum, yeah, okay, true.
But now they are supposed to compute it based on consumption. You know, if a fraction of that is not the entirety, but if a large chunk of it, now a large fraction of it is based on consumption. And I've listened to a whole lot of experts, and I'm wondering how if they have the technology for it, though, that you need to determine now the people in.
No, for something like telecoms, it probably is easy. You know where this
the calls were emanating from.
Yeah, we know where the calls are emanating from. You know where the airtime was.
Okay, so for what about for instance, I'm not going to talk about the contentious one, the consumption of alcoholic beverages. What about the non-alcoholic beverages? You know that a lot of these companies are structured around regions, and we also know if you speak to dealers, they won't say it out, but you know that for instance, most of the soft drinks that is being consumed in the northern part of Nigeria, a lot of it is coming from Lagos. But they have plants in the north that cannot meet this demand. So where's the VAT going? Do you understand? At the end of the day, the dealer here has taken an allocation from the Lagos store.
Yeah, pays it, but I get your
and
point.
the consumption will be done in another part of Nigeria. So again, tracking those things might be an headache. I don't know how they're going to resolve that. But at the end of the day, what it really means is that there will be more funds available and that the payments can be tracked. And also, it's now on the citizenry to track the usage of this taxes that you are paying.
Yeah, it actually shows that. Also, one of the major issues that the governors are also pushing is that they do not want an increment in the taxes. You know, there's also the part where there's a part of the bill that also is talking about how not collecting tax from a large chunk of people, but also now increasing the tax.
Yeah, but I also like the idea that not collecting tax, the way you put it, is for people who are earning below a certain amount in a year.
Yeah.
And to ensure that the people who earn way more than that are paying their fair share. You know, we can, if you compare Nigeria's tax payments, I'm not saying that they should increase taxes, but even the current regime, how many people are actually paying taxes? How many people are actually... So consumption taxes, VAT and all are some of the ways that people get to pay their taxes. But I'm talking about the personal income tax and other taxes.
Those ones.
Hardly would you find people who pay them. Do you understand? So at the end of the day, the governors will think, in my mind, and I might be wrong, but I'm looking at all the players involved here. And another thing that is funny is how it was until the law was about to be passed that the governors got serious. Seeing that the committee had reached out to them.
Yeah, which all these conversations
times
could have been had, and there was a lot of...
As at that time, their inputs could have been taken.
It would have been easier, yes.
If they had actually given it, the committee would have considered their input and said, you know what, based on this block, because the Governors Forum is a big block, it's a block that you can play around with. Mm-hmm. But, of course, in our typical way, we don't take things serious until it's about to slap us in the face.
It's our way. But anyway, we'll follow this conversation and see what exactly we'll see the reaction of the presidency and the reaction of the National Assembly to this. In fact, also, even the reaction of the Presidential Tax Committee on this as well. There's not been reactions from all these people. And
I think we've seen the chairman of that committee, the taxman himself, tax expert by excellence, actually seen tweets where he's already more or less like retweeting or sharing what the governors are saying. Do you get?
Yeah, but there's not been like a reaction from them.
Yeah, I'm just saying that that is the reaction. I'm not saying that they won't put out maybe like a press statement afterwards. I'm just saying that he has already seen it, and his response is to at least help them highlight it and help them reach more people. Because I know him, he likes to engage a lot. He's been doing a lot of...
So we'll see.
So he could have actually gone ahead to say, you know what, no. This cannot happen. But we'll wait for an official statement from him.
Yeah. And now moving on from that quickly, the federal government has now launched a campaign to convert 10,000 commercial vehicles into CNG in 10 weeks. Basically, this was contained in the statement by the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative. And they're saying that they're planning to revolutionize. It's starting from Abuja and Lagos State. It is supposed to, it should have commenced January 16th and is set to run till March 31st, 2025. Okay.
Coincidentally, today I was at a bus park at Bagada, and I actually engaged two of the drivers in some discourse, and I was asking him, because the boot to his vehicle was open, and I was asking him, how come you don't have CNG? He said, that his money is not complete yet, that he's putting the money together, that there's a company around Asheshe or something in Ogun State where they have been going to convert their vehicles to CNG, and that is 2 tanks and everything. I was talking about like ₦1 million for them to get it done, and that those guys are fantastic, that they're doing a great job, that no return jobs, everything is like near perfect. I said, wow. So what happened to the government initiative? He said, this were his own words now, one of the drivers. He said, everything that is free comes with its own disadvantage.
Okay.
That a few of their members that got that had issues with the installation, the quality of the work that was done.
Okay.
And that, again, it did not trickle down to everybody. And that the few people that got it had issues. If the other guy was chipping in, as he was saying, this happened barely 2 hours ago. And that actually opened my eyes to something. And I'm saying, wait a minute. How much feedback has government gotten from the first batch that they've done?
Yeah.
You get. Do they have some kind of independent structure or people verifying all
quality
of this
control?
Yeah, because the people who are supposed to be getting the CNG buses are saying point blank that it's not getting to them.
That is not
in the man's word, you said that all these government things, that's how you hear about it, but it never gets to them.
So my issue is, there's one angle that it does not get to a few people, that it doesn't get to a lot of people. That's one angle to it. Another angle, and it's something that we've been talking about a lot, is how do we now ensure, because there are 1 or 2 or 3 vehicles that that are CNG. I think the only times that you've heard maybe like transport, where transport is not as expensive as a regular one, is maybe state transport systems, or like I know Ogun State's buses that are CNG. They
have quite a few of them.
Do you understand that pick people as far as into Lagos State, that you will say that it's way cheaper than the regular transport, which the honest truth is that a lot of people actually get to use. Now, my question is, how does the government, other than quality control and being sure who gets what, another thing is that how are we sure because that the cost of transport will still reduce? Because the honest truth is, before we even get to the point of CNG, for almost a month now, if not more, I'm not sure the exact date when fuel dropped, but as of today, there's been at least 100 naira drop in the cost of petrol.
Yeah, in the last 1 month.
In the last 1 month, at least 100 naira. In some places, is more, because you're buying fuel as much as 1,000 and 1,150. In some places, 1,200 and something. And now you can get it for as low as 925. So it's a bit even more than 100 naira. But let's peg it at 100 naira, yeah? At least there's 100 naira drop. And I have not seen or heard where the cost of transport has reduced.
No, it won't, because again, it happened during the Yuletide, and that's the official season for exploitation.
Okay, but the Yuletide has now dropped, which that one is another conversation entirely. Do you understand? That alone should see a drop in cost of transportation. Yeah, but we don't see that.
I hope the sarcasm was not lost on you, that it happened during the Yuletide, where it's the season of exploitation. It's not the season of giving.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's that one is another conversation.
So that's one. 2. it's more of a quality control slash consumer protection issue than any other thing. If there's an agency that's supposed to be in charge of consumer protection, it's not only about supermarkets that are selling expired goods. It's also about transportation companies and individuals in transportation exploiting their passengers.
Yeah. How are you working with the NURTWs of this world?
So it's beyond just saying, oh, that you've converted 10,000 vehicles or you want to convert 10,000. It's you being creative enough to ensure that your efforts do not waste.
Yeah, because
I saw an headline: government to give out 75,000 naira to 70 million families by the end of this year, and they might actually just give out that money. But the question is, how does it get to the people it should get to?
Exactly.
There's a way you can deploy technology.
I don't know if maybe...
So you need to bring technology into the CNG buses also. For every person that you have given free CNG installation, you must onboard them. You must onboard them and create an app or a payment system that people, when they identify, because the CNG buses have to stand out.
Yes.
So people will say, okay, this is a CNG powered bus. It's obviously powered by the government.
Yeah, whether we like it or not, people will gravitate towards that thing. We see how there are lines. If you live in Lagos, there are lines on end. People waiting for BRT buses. So because it's cheaper. So
if you have a system where the CNG powered buses of different capacities now, and they are identified as such because the government is the one that did it for them, you must go one step further to tag them as CNG powered by the government. So that way, I get to a bus park and I have the Oyster card or the whatever card that government or the app. I go there and I pay, and that way government will ensure that person, gets their money instantly, the way the Uber people get their money.
Yeah.
You get, and that's it. It's just to create some technology around it. Because if you put a CNG powered bus by government, free CNG power, because the installation alone is about 1 million naira plus. Why would the government install, say, in a park of 50 cars, maybe they install 10 cars now, and the 10 cars are charging the same amount that the person that is buying PMS at 935 naira is also charging?
It doesn't make any sense. It's unfair.
So for me, the solution is to create an app or a platform that identifies these vehicles and allows people to patronize them, and they get instant payment based on the value.
Based on it, yeah. It's a lot of work.
If they don't do that, trust me, it's just like throwing what's it called, down the drain, like pouring money down the drain, because it will not have any effect.
Anyway, moving on from that quickly, let's move on from that. As the federal government has now said, according to the Ministry of Works, that the Abuja-Kaduna-Kano road will be ready in 14 months.
The Abuja-Kaduna-Kano road is a fantastic thing. It's an important artery when it comes to transportation in Nigeria, and predominantly Nigerians are still stuck on road transportation. There's the Abuja-Kaduna rail, but it doesn't even have the capacity to take everybody that applies that route.
It doesn't.
And the Kano aspect of it, there's actually a standard gauge rail being run as we speak.
Yes, that started.
So if it runs side by side, the construction of the road and the rail, and they're both ready almost about the same time, or regardless of whenever they are ready, it definitely will increase the quality of life. It would be safer.
And then people have options, basically.
Yeah.
People should.
And the quality of roads that are being constructed in Nigeria now are actually
they're actually getting better. So yeah, we definitely would follow that up. We hope that they stick to the timeline on that, and those roads actually are secure enough for people to go through. Now let's move on from story of the federal government and go to INEC. The Independent National Electoral Commission has now announced that it has deleted the record of 7,746 deceased voters from the National Voters Register in Nigeria's 36 states and the FCT as of December 2022.
So I have a question. How do they determine that these voters are dead?
So now they're saying that they, according to them, there's death records from the government.
So they have access to that.
So apparently there's an access to death records. Now they said the problem is that even those official death records are not very up to date.
That's what I'm saying.
So but they're saying that that's the only way they could reach, because they can't be going from house to house.
It's good that they have. That's why I said what I said, though. Because how do you determine who's gone and who's not? It's like Facebook and Twitter and all these social media apps. We all have at least one person that's on social media that is no longer with us, and some of them are actually being kept alive by the people who have access to their handles.
Yeah,
I know a singer that died a few years ago, but they're still tweeting and they're posting on his Instagram. So how would Instagram know the person is dead? Do you understand? It's the same question with me, for me, asking INEC, but now that they've said that they have access to the death records, then that means they are definitely going to have all the information they need. But 7,000 within that time span,
I think it's very small.
Yeah.
However, they're also saying that through the help of the National Population Commission and the National Identity Management Commission, they said that they also try to clean up their system using an automated biometric identification system to identify and remove fake or duplicate voter registrations. And with those people's data, they were able to remove 2.7 million registrations.
Yeah.
Saying that those were invalid, and that they're saying that number was about 22.6% of the new registrations that they did.
Can you just imagine that? And that's why we were talking about this, I think we did last week, the need for a central database.
So the honest truth is, even these numbers of registered voters is still very suspect. As much as we think it's 80-something million, it's not even up to that in the real sense of it.
Yeah.
So that's when you now see 20-something million or 30-something million people only vote. Yes, there's voter apathy. There's also a lot of these numbers that
double registration,
invalid. Exactly. So that there's also that angle as well that people also don't look at.
Yeah, but even at that, it's still a very tiny fraction as compared to the number of people who don't vote. I think our biggest problem still remains voter apathy, that people will sit in their homes and just not bother. I know people who travel from outside Nigeria to come and vote in Nigeria. Like, I know a lot of, let me not say a lot. I know a few people who would.
See.
And I know people who travel, they will travel intrastate.
I know that
interstate.
A lot of people
just to vote.
Don't
But there are people who the polling booth is in front of their houses and they still won't come out.
Okay. I know that I don't want to generalize, but in the little amount of my adult life, there's something that I have noticed. I might not be right. It might just be because of my own environment of what I've noticed. But I think that I can say that when it comes to voter apathy, it's probably the smallest in the north. What I have observed, northerners tend to vote a lot more than anybody else.
When it comes to performing their civic duties, you have to give it to them en masse. I remember when I was registering somewhere in Maryland, Lagos, many years ago, on that queue alone, all the Megadis, all the Meisuyas,
give it to them. What I have noticed,
they
seem
registering.
The southwestern side of Nigeria,
you guys are too...
They're too bougie.
Yeah.
I think that when it comes to voter apathy, it's probably, I'm sure, I won't say that I have the data, but I'm sure that the people with the worst pattern of voting is in the southwest.
So guess
you're too bougie to vote.
It didn't start today. It's not just about voting alone. It's about everything that has to do with government and civic duties and all. Do you know that at some point in the 80s, government, because it was the public schools were more like the main places where a lot of people went to. There were more public schools that were actually up to standard, up to scratch, as against private schools. And you know what? Government will tell you to go and bring your father's income tax receipt, income tax certificate.
Yeah.
That was one way to get parents to pay their taxes.
Yeah.
But if paying taxes were regular, they would not have to do that. They would just let's cite it. Okay, reason what taxes got to do with voting is the same thing. If they now make it compulsory, private or secondary, your child will not write exam until we see your parents. After all, now somebody born you, whether a man or woman, or single or single father or single mother, at least now person born you, or now person you deliver. You shall have guardian in the worst case. Bring their voters card. Let me tell you what happens if they do that. There will be more people registering. But will they vote?
Will people vote?
Will they vote?
In the southwest,
I know someone.
It's not about money, y'all just feel that you are too bougie for a lot of things.
I know someone that was like, look, he just needs this voter's card for official transactions. I'm like, but that means you will vote now that you're queuing up. He said, no. What's the zone with government? Let them be doing their own. It just needs it to open accounts and all of those things because it's a legal, it's a valid ID when you want to do some transactions in Nigeria. But I'm hoping that the plan to bring in the national ID card will solve a lot of these problems. Because one, it's the same database, and if the national ID card has your biometrics, there's no need for you to do any other biometric thing anywhere again.
But the problem
and the same national ID card will have a chip like your ATM card, which means you can put money in a certain account and use. So I'm hoping that's the case.
But now that's the problem.
Remember, I said hope.
No, I don't think that there's a need to hope. Is that if I remember correctly, the NIMC, the Nigerian, the National Identity Management Company, as corporation or whatever NIMC that they call themselves, it is optional. It's not because you have to pay for it. They're saying that in the time past they have printed thousands of cards and people don't collect it. Now that it even contains a lot of your biometrics, contains your bank details and all those things, so it is if you want it.
Yeah. So again,
I don't think we can even use that to measure, because if I don't want it, I don't want it.
So
you can't compel people to get those things.
Okay, so check this. They printed millions of cards in the past and people didn't pick them up. I agree with you. But again, some of us wanted to pick them up and we never knew where to go.
Yes, I get it. But now...
So I think it's a mixture of everything. If they decentralize these things, for instance, I'm just saying, every local government, LCDA in states that have LCDAs, and wards and outlets actually have places where people can go pick up those cards. Do you know that everybody will get their cards?
So now, that's what I'm saying. So if you want to, number one, what we would see happen at the moment is that we would not, there won't be as many cards, and that's the truth. Because especially now that it's optional and people have to pay for it, we won't see as many. So
I'm saying that there are things that you can put in place that will not make it optional.
Okay.
But it's not an idea, Dolupo. It will not make it optional. It will make it almost compulsory, and it will reduce a lot of stress that people are going through. If I go to the Federal Road Safety to get my license, I have to go to the VIO and other units before I can get my license.
Yeah.
But if you centralize it, that this your national ID card can also serve as a driver's license based on the data that they have retrieved from the road safety. There are things you can put in place. Some things you can incentivize these things that it makes me want to carry a national ID that is like an all in all. I can go to the bank. I can do transactions. You know, I'm just saying we need to move with the times. Technology is, look, people are staying in their homes and they're opening accounts in America and the UK all via an app. The OPAs of this world, they don't have banks. They don't have physical banks. And people are putting money in their accounts and spending hundreds of thousands and millions in a year. But they have their verification tools. They use the NIN. They use facial recognition. In fact, the OPay will tell you, open your mouth, close your eyes, bend your head. But it's all part of securing you and your funds. And everything you do is still safe. Just like the NDIC ensures the banks, the OPAs of this world are insured.
Okay.
So use technology. Use it effectively.
Okay, so we'll see where all that is going to go to. Now, let's move on quickly from that and let's go to more interesting news. As the EFCC is set to arraign the chairman of what's this man's name now? It's a former chairman of First Bank Nigeria and Onasanya, and the chairman of Honeywell Group, Chief Oba Otudeko. They're now saying that they defrauded the bank 12.3 billion naira.
Oh, more all this money we pay yes.
According to the EFCC, the four defendants, so there are actually four. There is Oba Otudeko, there is Onasanya, there's a former board member of Honeywell PLC, Soji Akitayo, and a firm, Anchorage Leisure Limited, which is said to be connected to Otudeko. It said that the tranches of 5.2 billion naira, 6.2 billion, 6.15 billion, 1.5 billion, and 500 million naira between 2013 and 2014 in Lagos. So there's a 13-count charge against these four entities.
Hey, inside life.
I want to say, I have a question.
Because I know you want to say something bad.
No, I'm just saying.
I don't trust you.
So,
I don't trust you.
Please, how much money does First Bank have?
First Bank is the first bank.
I said so is
all the money.
Remember that a few days ago, there's conversation that another entity, $230
million
dollars. This person, another person, 12.3 billion naira. Like, what are you people doing, First Bank?
First Bank is first for a reason.
See, you people, all you these other banks, you people have no. See, after all this money is taken out of the bank, and they are still standing.
I think there's a lot of disrespect going on in the Nigerian banking sector.
See,
you see, because you know the way they say this one is a receiving bank, this one is a clinical bank. Forget all that story. Central Bank, First Bank.
Well, no, even at this point, if Central Bank is not careful,
then other banks.
If Central Bank is not careful, because explain to me how all these monies
and they have not gone down. Oh,
y'all, na bank you be.
I remember last year we were talking to a friend and he was talking about his former employer losing some billions, and the man was calm. I said, calm, okay.
Now, man, you be.
Oga.
So apparently, the chairman and Honeywell Group, Obasa, has clarified that it's never served as an executive capacity within Federal Bank Holdings or its banking subsidiary. First Bank Holdings or First Bank Nigeria. Says that he had no operational responsibility in the organization, contrary to speculations.
That's good. That's good. So, of course, so he has a case, and he's obviously putting up his defense already. It looks like this will make it to the court, and we'll find out what happens at the end of the day.
So, according to Cable, they claim this is an exclusive, that after that conversation, that Otudeko has now left Nigeria via one of the land borders. They're saying that according to sources, he was dropped off at the Nigeria-Benue border on Thursday evening by a female member.
That's today.
Yesterday now, when Friday.
Today is Thursday now.
Where you?
Sorry, don't vex.
Evening. We are seeing the afternoon.
I was expecting a payment on Thursday. The money has not dropped, so my mind is still on Thursday.
Keep your.
I don't want to say it's Friday. You see,
Today
now,
Friday.
Let's not make light of this. This allegation by the Cable, this exclusive, it's a big deal. But because it's still very fresh, we're just going to gloss over it. But a wise man once said, behind every great fortune, there's a great crime. It was a wise man that said it. I'm just quoting him. So I don't even need to say allegedly.
See.
A wise man once said.
Are we saying that?
Dolupo.
Are you saying that
Dolupo.
there is not, people cannot do legit?
Dolupo, I'm not arguing with you. I just want to ask you one. I just want to ask you one question. How are these banks so strict on me when I want to lend money to do business, and they are able to give these people money that they cannot recover?
Okay, so this is just also an allegation, yeah. But there are talks of how this bank, there's always allegations of how these bank MDs or top bank officials actually get percentages of these monies. So because they know that they're getting, it's free money now at the end of the day, because nobody is going to, they are not the ones that are going to pay the money back.
So because me, I won't give them percentage, they won't lend me money.
How much is your money that you want? The whole money that
my
you
own
want
that
to
they
borrow.
will collect land.
Wait, the whole money that one is for the bank. It's not their personal pocket. The whole money that you want to collect is not up to.
So everything Dolupo is saying is alleged.
Yes,
alleged.
It's an allegation. However, the whole money that you want, how much do you want to borrow? Let's say you want to borrow
100 million.
100 million. Okay, so how much is 5% of 230 billion naira?
I don't know. My calculator said error.
$230 million.
Dolupo, my
how much is
calculator said error.
So you see that your 100 million self
it's not up to the riba.
It's
Sorry,
not,
it's not up to the alleged kick front.
You are now saying that. Who knows you before?
Nobody.
They don't know you. They don't. Nobody. It's not your kind of money they are looking
100
for.
100 million is not money in this country.
It's not. They are not. See, it's not say it's not money. To some people, see, whether we like it or not, as much as you claim that Nigerian currency, 100 million naira now enters your account. Are you joking?
Stop now.
Are you joking?
100 million.
Because everybody seems to say the naira is this, naira is that.
Do
you know how
can
much?
I just say something?
Do you know what that money will transform a whole generation? No, it's not a matter of just your life.
Today is January.
It will be generational wealth.
Why are you like this?
Are you kidding?
Wait first now. Today is January 42nd. 100 million which condition we are in now. 10 million. You people will see misbehavior of the eye on this table. I will stand here.
100 million. We just excuse me. Can we go? We're just going for 1 week. We could be back.
I'm actually giveaway.
By the time we're back, it's a whole brand new studio.
Studio that will be on top water. What fish will be flowing under like the sharks. You think we don't have idea? You people think we don't have idea? You know what Obe said now? Arabada oh genuine. You just be seeing studio like this, everything will just be.
Do you get my point? And it's not even. You're still in the what's it called? You are still in the era of naira. You're not even in dollar yet, and you're now saying it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
In fact, we can even put whiskey. Whiskey will just be somewhere. You just be dancing and singing, and we'll be doing boom bap.
Let's hold on. We are looking at how to use the money.
We'll make the money back now.
No.
You know why we will make it back? Whiskey make 1 million. He made $1 million on Spotify. Dolupo, $1 million. Why don't you know how to sing?
I don't have key.
You are a disgrace.
I don't have key.
And for the manage you now, you know how much we for make?
Why are you not the one singing?
I'm born to manage. My talent is managing people.
You sing. Let me do the management.
I'll think about it.
At what age? Oh, don't deceive yourself.
Don't say that to
Okay.
that guy that was singing opera. It did not start until he was very old now. That
We don't sing opera in Nigeria.
I'm just telling you,
We don't sing.
age is not a barrier.
Okay, so what do you want to be singing?
I'm just 27 now, so
what
you are
do you want to
making
be singing?
me.
That you want to be singing.
Yeah, okay.
These Gen Z people, they will wash. I don't know you.
Is it Gen Z? Is it Gen Z that made whiskey reach 1 million?
I don't know you before.
I better leave this thing, Joe.
Okay, I'm just the
If
one.
the money enter now, you'll be dancing now.
To be doing what?
I sing now.
Sing what?
Parana.
I see. Oh no, no. Oh, it shows. See it.
So back to the matter before she moves away. First Bank, we respect you.
Now bank
we
you
respect
be. Now bank you
your
be.
capacity.
However, I saw a post where someone had talked about when he first met Femi Otedola that he's a very nice person and all that, but that anybody that knows Femi Otedola knows that he doesn't joke with his money. That he can give you is giving, but the minute you say borrow, he will use any means possible to collect that money back.
Is Ijebu man a joke to you? When they say somebody is Ijebu,
You think it's from Ekpe now?
The people in Ekpe, what are they? Look at this baby. The people in Ekpe, what are they to you? Are they Egun or Takpa?
Anyway, Sha. So I saw that reply. I said that people in First Bank don't know what you are in for. That he was ready to collect the minute he said.
But Nigerian banks need to do better.
They definitely need to do better.
But shout out to First Bank. We respect you guys, honestly.
All that money.
And you still day.
You still day.
Your ACNC, they get money.
You still day.
People are still going to work. They are collecting salary. People's money is safe.
You still day. I know.
Shout out to First Bank.
You're good. You're good. Anyway, let's move on to a bit of politics quickly before we go. As the Court of Appeal in Abuja has now reiterated that Julius Abure remains the national chairman of the Labour Party.
Congratulations to Mr. Abure. He's won a couple of court cases that shows that regardless of all the moves that were set up against him, I remember when some of his very close people, they set up some kind of movement and they were going to take over the party from him.
Yeah, the caretaker committee, yeah.
It didn't work. It didn't work because I always tell people within the confines of the law they look sentimental. Law not law.
So according to what the appellate court is saying, that anything done outside the jurisdiction of the law amounts to nullity. So basically saying that caretaker committee is nullified. It doesn't make any sense. And remember, that was what we're going on about, that
what was the basis?
As much as
we said
the man
now.
might have
What
done a lot
on?
of things and all that. We have to, and remember that I think that was when we're also talking about River State and a lot of things. No matter how you think that, okay, what this person is doing is wrong and you need to kick him out, you also need to do whatever actions you need to do have to be legal.
That's it. Shout out to Mr. Abure. Right now, your staying power, now be the labor of the day.
It's
the
the
labor.
honest truth,
In fact, it's the labor of the year.
I don't see this happening, and I don't see this all going well with the Labour Party because they're so fragmented now.
Yeah,
and
it's because they have refused to melt into one. It's still about different interests. Like, okay,
yeah, but even the Abures of this world,
governor,
is there really?
There's a presidential candidate.
Is there? Does he really want what is best for the party? It's obvious that there's a large chunk of majority. Number one,
it's relative.
Your tenure had ended. There's a large chunk of your party that do not want you back. If it's really about the party and the greater good, you should step down.
Why should he step down when he has the ability to stay on?
Okay.
Why should he step down? They should try and work with him if they're serious.
Apparently, there's quite a number of issues with
He's
that.
a smart man, and I respect him a lot.
Anyway, still talking about court cases quickly. The terrorism charge that was against the Ndigbo of Ajao Estate. Remember that case a while ago? Yeah. So this man has now been discharged and acquitted. Now, let me bring it up to speed. Number one, so there are quite a number of things that were against this man. Now, against the terrorism charges, he was discharged and acquitted, saying that the Lagos state government did not have enough, the prosecution did not have enough evidence to put against him. However, there was also another charge that was brought against him about him being an Ndigbo in Lagos State. Apparently, according to the laws of Lagos State, it is only the kings and the chiefs that are recognized in Lagos by law. So it is actually a crime.
It is.
It is a crime without, and it's not bailable. There's a 1 year jail term for that, and it is actually not bailable. So he was actually jailed 1 year for that, for claiming to be Ndigbo of. So maybe it's time that all these other people.
Oh, some have built palaces in different parts of Lagos.
Maybe it's time to because now that there's an official judgment to that. Maybe it's time you need to put down those things, because you probably might end up in jail if you're not careful with the way it's going. However, the only reason why it was released was that they said that he has been in detention for about 2 years.
Yeah, so he has already served his time and then some. I hope he learns his lesson, though, because he was making those very, very dangerous claims on air.
Very, very dangerous claims. So whether he's been charged for that or not, number one, he's an ex-convict, because he's obviously been convicted for a particular thing, and is spent quite a number of
moments,
times in that as well. So yeah, just wanted to clarify that quickly. Now, the Lagos Assembly, the new Lagos formed Lagos Assembly, has now nominated or named new principal officers after the Obasa's impeachment. So they're new principal officers now.
Congratulations to all of them. I'm sure, like I said, once someone drops like that, maybe the person dies or gets impeached or whatever, the lobbying starts immediately. It's like musical chairs, and people have to move around.
Life moves on. Everybody moves on. It's not. Don't be wasting time on what is not. Let's just move. So that definitely happened. Now, also, just want to put it out there, the World Bank has projected a 3.5 GDP growth for Nigeria in 2025 and a 3.7% in 2026.
We'll go see now. After our president say he won't drop inflation rate to 15%.
Okay, so on that note, we're moving on from that. Let's do a bit of a bit of sports quickly. Erling Haaland has signed a 9.5 year. I'm not sure I've really seen a contract that long. So he's now signed a new contract with Manchester City till 2034.
No, story, Joe.
Why did you say so, though?
Haaland knows he's going to Spain soon. He should go. He should try to make more money for City. Excuse me.
Oh, okay. That angle actually makes sense, though.
Don't take my word for it, though. Let's just watch.
Yeah, it's like I said, it makes sense if we're looking at it from that angle. It actually does make sense. Also, Naomi Osaka has now also pulled out of the Australian Open again.
Injury worries are back. She was doing well. She was picking, her games, which one to do before the Aussie Open, but sadly, she out.
She definitely out. And also, so wanted to put that out there. Tomorrow, Galatasaray is playing today, actually. Today. They're playing at 6 p.m. today. Go and look for if Osimhen is playing today or not. Just wanted to put it out there. It's Osimhen, so we have to put it there. Anyway, we're seeing Newcastle and Bournemouth play tomorrow, 1:30. Now, please, just wanted to ask. I actually went to look for it. I can't find anywhere. The MPFL, are there no games this weekend?
The MPFL took a recess, and I don't know if they're back.
Yeah, but there are no games. That's the reason why.
They took a recess, so I don't know if they're back.
Yeah, so that's it. So Newcastle will be playing Bournemouth at 1:30 tomorrow. Brentford and Liverpool. Can we see Liverpool dropping points again.
Dear Liverpool, be wary of Brentford.
I think everybody needs to be wary of everybody now, because now I was looking at the table. That's just only a 4-point lead. Now I'm like, okay, I thought that Liverpool was pushing a lot, but these days, in fact, Liverpool should probably be more
with 4 points,
afraid
but they still have a game at hand. So.
At this point. So they definitely need to be wary of that. Leicester City and Fulham. I don't see Leicester winning that game. I don't see how they're going to not be relegated. I don't see how Ruud van Nistelrooy is doing a lot at the moment. Maybe their whole team needs a complete overhaul.
Yeah, Fulham are really playing well lately. You know, it's start stop, but they're actually playing well. So
they are.
Leicester have their work cut out for them.
They definitely do. Also, West Ham Crystal Palace. I think this one is going to be a tough one.
It is. And Crystal Palace are going to lose one of their top players. It's been recalled by Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea's with their large squad. One would have thought that they won't have a lot of issues, but apparently it's not working at the moment. Also, the last game of the day in the Premier League will be Arsenal-Aston Villa. Another
cracker. Arsenal coming off the back of that fantastic victory that they had a few hours ago. And of course, they will want to continue to build on that. Losing 1 or 2 or 3 top players should not dampen, their plans. They're getting closer to the top, so this is the kind of game they want to win.
They definitely want to win. And on Sunday, we're seeing Everton playing Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham needs this win like something else, because at this point, I think if they're not careful, they're like fighting relegation now.
Yeah, their season started well, man. Everybody was
after the first month, it was just
from there it went down south.
Downhill. At 3 p.m. that will be played. Also at 3 p.m. Manchester United Brighton.
United really terrible at home yesterday against the worst team in the Premier League at the moment. And Southampton showed us how good they were. They ran them ragged for 80 minutes. Scored already. But there's a certain guy called Ahmad that seems to have a different opinion. In 10 to 12 minutes, he turned that game around. On its head.
I was going to say, too, like, a lot of people are going amazing on. And I remember I was having a conversation with someone last night about it. And I'm like, okay, so at some point, we really think that, and this is not even this is just me being unbiased. How is it a great thing to be down that number of minutes? It is Southampton, no? It's not like it's one, Jonathan, and you people are going on about it like it's one great. Let's call it spade a spade. There needs to be a lot more work. Imagine if there was no Ahmad in that team yesterday.
Well, I think Man United's problem is that they are primed for the top teams, and they don't have an answer to the lower teams. Because look at it, Arsenal cannot beat them, Liverpool cannot beat them, City cannot beat them, but Southampton can almost beat them.
Okay, and moving on from that quickly, also at 3 p.m. there's Nottingham Forest and Southampton. Southampton's going to chop another.
Yeah, Nottingham Forest are on a roll.
I don't see them not winning this game.
They're on the roll. They can smell blood already. And it's January. This is the period where, January to December, you amass a lot of points. And they're not doing badly.
They're not.
But if Southampton can play half as decent as they played United yesterday, there might be maybe their season can start to turn around.
It may be. And also the last game will not be Manchester City, Ipswich Town.
Yeah. City are back. They are winning again and feeling like they're on top of the world, signing a player for 9.5 years.
So we'll see if they're going to do a lot, or if that is going to help in any way. Anyway, on that note, that is all we'll be able to take today on the bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back again on Monday at 3 p.m. West African time to give you another wonderful edition of the Boom Bar. Do have a beautiful, beautiful weekend.
Peace.